I want us to imagine that we're building, okay, our own perfect, let's say, arranged marriage, and or we can say marriage of convenience. Either one you can build. And I want us to think about the characters we know, and I want us to match them together.
Hostile takeover setting because I want to be in the city, but he also had properties, right? We can move around. We had options. Um, I want Malachi as a person, but I need him to have like Bo's energy. Like I need him to be a little bit more cocky, right? Like he was arrogant in his own right, but I liked Bo's energy a little bit better. Just like, girl, come on, like this is just what we're doing. Um, I would like Orion's finance. Well, yeah, because he's a billionaire.
He's a billionaire.
I'll take his finances. Um, but also I need you to be a killer, like Demon.
I mean, yeah, yeah.
Kelly just kind of did what she wanted. She's supposed to choose one of each, but I do like the
I
world
thought
that
I
Kelly
did.
did.
What didn't I do?
It's tea time with
Kelly,
Lee and Lee. So, ladies, what you sipping on?
what you sip on? Is it a margarita?
It's not, but it does look like a
It
margarita, right?
does.
It's some lemonade and some whiskey that Marcus had laying around here.
Okay. I am regretting my choice already because I got wine tonight. I've had 3 sips and I'm sweating.
That's because you haven't been drinking lately, so your body's like, "Ooh, what is
Yeah, I was like, my husband was out. We have like 3 wineries within 30 minutes of our house. And he was down that way. He was like, so I stopped and got some of our favorite, which is this red. And yeah, I got big in the britches and I should not have. So if I start, it's because I'm dying over here. So what you got, T?
it?" Yeah, but you go ahead, take a sip.
What is it all the influencers do? You get the first bite, you get the first sip, and they get tea.
Yeah.
So what you got black this week?
So I have from BRBF again, uncoincidentally. So foodies who read, I don't know if y'all got a chance to go see her. This is my apron because I've already used up
What's
all
the
my
one with the seasonings?
yeah, because I've already used up all my seasonings and I was trying to save the bottles and they ended up getting tossed. But this is the I got an apron while I was there too because her little setup was everything. But the seasonings I have was I think it was Book Boy Friends Are Better and God, I can't remember the other one, but they were really good. I used them in pasta a lot. And her setup, she not only gives you the seasonings, but she has a bunch of recipe cards too. And so yeah, so like for every one I got, she gave me like 2 or 3 recipe cards for that particular seasoning to try, and she recommended it with pasta, and it was very good. We're a big pasta house. They were very, very good. So I need to re-up, but they were tasty. And that's my apron. So shout out to Foodie Who Reads. And I love the fact that she took her love for reading and paired it with her passion for cooking and made a whole brand out of it. I think that's pretty cool. So, I love that.
Lee, what you got?
I'm fortunate enough to be one of the authors featured in Out of Print's 1111 box. So it was 11 authors and 11 different items to go with their book. And so my book that was featured was Room 214. So it's cute. She had this little sticker down here on the side. And the box, first of all, if you're a subscriber, you know Brandy don't play. Her stuff is so cute. I love just even from the detail, right? As soon as you open the box, there's a card that tells you what book is from which author, and like the insert or whatever design goes from the box. And so here's a pop socket. I've been wanting this girlfriend's pop socket And that went with the book. Here was what went with room 214. It's a door handle. And it says, "Do not disturb. We in here being grown, taking shrooms." And my signature's on it, which is
I
so
love
cute.
that.
He was in there taking shrooms from
And
a
being
stranger.
grown.
You quite literally have Ezra with his camera, and you have Sanaa like posing on a beach.
Is that the
But it's
scene
just
when he was in the market with the camera? Is that one?
yeah, but it's just so much good stuff. Like you have annotation kits and special shot glasses and like junk loops with like albums. This is the Kanye West Jesus Walks like track, and it's just all of it goes with the authors, and so the attention to detail. This is Sedona Rose. It goes in your car. It's like an air freshener, and it also has like cup holders. It's like a mini version
Mm.
of her book. So cute. Two bookshelf signs, and so before I was featured as an author, I subscribed as a reader, and it was like my treat to myself, how I decorate my Kindle. The last thing I want to show you is the actual inserts because that's my favorite part. I love that. I don't think they do their book boxes anymore, or at least they only do them once in a while. I think now you have to order like individual trinkets. But whenever she does special collabs, like I know OG did one with her for Christmas. Whenever she does them, you got to get on them. So my Kindle is very much bougie. She's a mood Kindle now, so it's like I change my background based on what mood I'm
And
in.
all those came inside the box?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
You definitely get your money's worth, and I love the creativity.
Super cute. This week, I have one of my favorites.
Say you're living the elite life without saying you're living the elite life.
She's a part of the
Whatever.
country club.
Hmm.
I got Emery,
Mm-hmm.
and this was from Gray Day. Emery smells
What are
really
the
good.
notes?
The
Yes.
note, it's giving very high vibrational.
is
It's giving
it giving
it's
soft
solid.
life?
Is
Is it
it
giving?
gourmand? Is it like what's it giving?
It's giving t-shirt dress with slouch socks and a cute sneaker.
Okay.
Okay. I can actually smell that.
I'm getting the aesthetic. It's giving soft life, bills paid.
Yeah. It's giving moo. You put that moo on, them bills are paid. Yeah.
So what have y'all been reading? I know some of that we've been reading together, but what else are y'all reading right now?
So, I actually picked back up the Crenshaw Kings because I started it forever ago. And I'm finally on book 5. I'm like, okay, like I'm pressing through and I'm just having a time. So I'm reading that, and then of course we're doing a Monique March, and so we reading about them Summers man.
Mm-hmm.
And what a man, what a man, what a man, what a mighty good.
What a mighty good.
Gray is not disappointing. I went out of order the first time and read Blue already, but Gray, it's really getting me excited about August and what's the last one? Forgot his name already because I'm like, I knew Blue was good, and I was like, man, I don't know how Gray's. I was like, Gray's up there with Blue, so I think all four are gonna
It's so
be.
funny because even though my brain knew you read Blue, I'm reading Gray, and then when she's like Gray, and then they get to the hospital and she's like Blue, and I'm like Blue.
Like I know him.
Oh,
Right. Like,
My homegirl told me about you, yeah.
yeah.
And that's why I was getting excited because, like I said, I didn't know it was a series when I first read Blue. But then when I did, I loved the way that in Blue, we met the siblings, and I was like, and was already falling in love with them too. So I was like, yeah, this is going to be a fun ride.
I recall meeting August. Maybe I wasn't listening carefully. I don't recall a name August in the siblings. Y'all recall?
Well, in Blue, I met them because Blue happens around the holidays. So there's a family gathering. So you got to see them in that scene. And so
Well, we met the family in Gray because we met Tiffany and we found out that she's called Tiffany, but she doesn't actually like her name that follows the aesthetic of the rest of the siblings.
yeah,
We
her
met,
name's Sapphire.
we met at Emerald's. I just don't
and
remember reading in August.
we didn't. Just
I
like
would
we
have
didn't meet
remembered that
Blue
because his
until we
name is
had to meet
different.
Blue.
His name is different from the cadence. So
Maybe
I guess we just
August.
have to wait and
Maybe
see.
August is the daddy.
And maybe he's married into the
The
family.
daddy is Grayson.
Yes, his dad is Grayson,
Hmm.
which I thought was cute.
Well,
Greg is
maybe
not a
he is married into the family. Maybe he's one of the girls' husbands. Well, we shall see by the
We
end
shall
of
see.
March.
Well, you know what? I don't mind that because one of my favorite men in the gray Huffington universe is Keanu. He ain't got nothing to do with the family. He just
Keanu Kiana
Yes,
is
he
still at
do.
the
He's
top of
best
my
friends to
list.
Lake and Luca.
well, yeah, but what I'm saying is like he's still really high up there, and
He's
he
he
didn't.
right. He ranks number one on the L crew.
Every time.
He's
Because
the
every time it's like, let's rank the L's. I don't know how that K ends up at the top.
Yes, to be honest.
But he does.
Keanu gonna do it for me every single
Every
Every
time I
single
time.
hear it.
time.
It's chocolate and has grills. I was sold from the second I met him.
The
Period.
way he used to yoke that girl up and tell her, like, get her to calm down, I was like,
You're
ooh.
going home after your date. Bruh, no, I'm not.
Excuse me? Bet you gonna be at the house. Bet money. Okay. See what you reading.
So I got this book from Nat Galley. It's called Our Sister's Keeper. I don't know what possessed me to request this book from Nat Galley.
Women's fiction count on me type of.
I read the synopsis right after I'm reading it. You know how sometimes you got to go back and see what you have gotten yourself into, and you already
Mhm.
know. I don't. I just go in. And this apparently is a gothic horror.
Ooh.
When I tell you, the book is so well written. No, 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 not okay.
Because now you gotta finish it.
Because now I can't read it when I get good and comfortable at
Because you got,
nighttime.
because it's nighttime.
Because
Like,
I
it's
mean,
just,
and I started reading it at night because of course I didn't know what it was, and the writing is so good that it's not scary, right? But it's the kind of fear that like seeps into your bones, seeps into your subconscious. Like, so when you open your eyes in the middle of the night, you're like, "Am I well? Has my brain been switched?" It gives Get Out vibes.
ooh.
So it's like subtle right now because it's the first half of the book, but we're getting the pieces
You're approaching
saying
the apex and you're just waiting for it to.
something's something is knowingly unwrong. I
You
mean,
remember who it's by?
unwell. Say it again.
You remember who it's by?
No, I didn't say it for a reason.
Sorry, Buki. We can just cut that out. Mhm.
Her name's Jasmine something, but I couldn't remember the last name. That's why I just was like, I'll just put a picture up there when it's time. But yeah, so this one, it's really well written. It's like 1920s. I should probably stop doing historical stuff because that'd be the real life sometimes just be the creepiest stuff.
I love that. I would love this story. So
You
yeah, I would
wouldn't
love.
because it's scary. It's like the worst kind of scary. It's not jump scare. It's like,
But when stuff is rooted in history, I like it. Like I'll
well,
give a genre a chance. I'll give a genre that I'm not used to a chance if it's rooted in something that I like. Like
but I mean, when I tell you the story is
It's
very well
haunting, is
written,
what it is.
haunting. Thank you,
yeah.
Yeah.
You were
thank.
right when she said gothic.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah,
Those are, and like, I don't read a lot of Gothic horror. I've read, I think, one. But to your point, usually when I see them, even if the synopsis is good, I'm like, I can't do it today. I gotta be in the head.
something I can pick up every day. I do
Yeah.
read it every couple of days because I gotta, you know, it's like everybody around her, she's feeling crazy, and everybody around her is continuing to make her feel crazy, even though they've already been there and recognized that this is just how it goes.
That sounds like the one I just did
It's a good time.
um, for Macmillan's Early Listener. I picked one because the title sounded good, and I was like, "Oh, this sounds like it's going to be a suspense," and it ended up being a gothic horror. And similar situation, this woman was losing her mind, losing her mind, and the whole time, the person closest to her was the orchestrator of it, essentially, and had been. But it's like when I was reading, I was like, "What did I pick?" And so I wasn't clocking it right. I'm thinking like, "What's?" And the further and further it went, and then she was like, "I think the house is alive. I think it's trying to kill." And I was like, "Yeah." So this is getting dark. Mhm.
So this one is like it has like flashbacks to like the start of like a town in Mississippi to like quote unquote the future of like the town is well established, but the lady there like she just keeps hearing don't look away. And I'm just like, girl, you gotta look away. You gotta move back to DC. Get out of Mississippi.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always those moments when you read or watch horror where you're like, this would have been the shortest story if it were me. The moment I would have signed on that doggone
She abandoned the
mortgage,
house. The
and
end.
yeah, and then they was like, the doors all flew open on their own. That'll do it.
And I don't have to take anything with me.
I'm
Nope.
out.
Get my little wallet and I'm on the way.
Child, it would be the shortest story because I'm not gonna sit that back to see what's gonna happen and if
But
it's
I
gonna
always
stop.
question, like, how did y'all get to a random cabin in the middle of nowhere in the woods as black people and all women? Like, I just like, how did we even get here?
It always makes more sense to me when I read them and the time makes sense, not from a historical reference, because one of the ones that I really liked was Noelle Eiley. She writes a lot of suspense thrillers, but they take place in like late 80s, early 90s where the technology didn't exist. And so you can fathom how somebody would end up here because you couldn't Google it. You just had to go and then you find
Oh,
out, yeah, something crazy happened. And so I can always usually accept the storyline then. I can't accept it if you're setting it in 2026 and y'all are ended up in some haunted mansion. I'm like, I can't connect those dots because what are you actually doing? Like what? Who's not getting the Yelp reviews at this point and reading the news articles? So I do like it when they make sense for the time where it's like there was no Google, there wasn't a smartphone,
Right.
and that's how you ended up in the woods with an axe murderer. So yeah. But I'm interested in how it ends. If you get to finish it, if it doesn't become a DNF, I'm interested to see how it is. And Lee, you still have to read the Reformatory.
yeah, I will. There's a big list of books that I want to read. I want to read Chain Gang All Stars first because I don't watch a lot of TV anymore, but I remember when gosh, I can't think of it. Orange is the New Black first came on Netflix. I was really big on watching it and really getting into those individual stories of the women who were incarcerated and then like the system. So I love books about that. And then add on top of that the historical piece. I think I'm gonna love Chain King All Stars, and then there's I think I'm also gonna love the Reformatory too.
Yeah,
Those are both really high up on my list.
yeah. I think you'll enjoy the Reformatory. I would
Taylor,
have
what are
enjoyed
you
it
reading?
more. Huh?
What are you reading?
I just started book two of The Davenports, which is historical fiction. I don't and YA, which makes
Anyway,
yeah, it makes no sense that I enjoyed the first one, none whatsoever. So I just start. I mean, when I say just start, I'm only on chapter one, but it's already messy.
Are
Um,
you
you
reading
like what you like.
or listening?
both. I'm trying to read it the most with my eyes because it has and thankfully I still have my note from when I read it first. I had to start a note. It had that many characters in it, and I was like I had to keep up with it. So I'm trying to read it with my eyes as much as possible. But I got to do Ken's hair this weekend, so I may end up listening to some. But obviously, we're reading um, the M. Monique book. Is it?
Uncovering Love.
Yeah,
Uncovering Love.
But I just finished with Jazz, another Brandon Massey, The Other Brother, and then a book called Brother by, who was that by? Ania Allborn.
Which one did you like better?
So I liked Brother better
Who's
just
that by? I
because
don't recall who that one was by.
that one's it's Ania Allborn. So
Oh,
it was about this family up in the Appalachian Mountains, so it's very the hills have eyes, and their hobby is, of course, kidnapping and unaliving. But there's these weird just family dynamics, and especially between the brothers, and then you're starting to unravel like how they got to be where they are and the whys and the all while they're the weirdest people on the planet doing the weirdest things ever. And then the plot twist at the end, because Jazak actually read that one already. She was like, I didn't read for like 4 days after reading that book. She was like,
but you reread it with you.
no, she had already read that one. She and I read a different one. I just happened to be reading about two books called Brothers. But the Brandon Massey one, it wasn't bad. I'm just noticing that Brandon Massey likes to just throw paranormal things into his book. And I'm not a huge fan of that. And it leaves me like scratching my head sometimes. I'm like, so why do they have superpowers? Because I feel like if you would have plucked that out of there, the storyline would have been exactly the same.
Yeah.
Except I closed the book and I was like, I still don't know why they have superpowers. I'm confused. But that one is about. So the other book I'm reading, The Other Brother, Brandon Massey, it's about two half brothers who grew up separately, but um, the one who was raised by the dad, they have money. He's a business. He's like has a whole enterprise, and he has like a good life in Atlanta. The one who was left with the who wasn't raised by the dad grew up just impoverished and in the streets and all that. And so when he loses his mother, his dying wish, or yeah, promise to her that he's gonna get vengeance. And so his whole plan is to infiltrate this family and destroy it because they had what he didn't have. But yeah, they manifest powers and it was kind of like, okay, we're gonna figure this out. And then like when it ends, we still don't know why they had powers. And I'm still a little why was this?
Well, I did finish, finally finish Five Broken Blades.
You did.
Yeah, that's only because we have a date of when we're going to start the second one.
How do you feel?
I need to read more.
Yeah.
Is, is it been your favorite book this year so far? Because you thought like it was going to be really good, which is why you didn't finish it last time.
No, the whole book was really good. I just want the series to be good. Because sometimes you read the series, the first two are great, and then the third one's like,
Hmm.
So,
yeah.
y'all, speaking of difficult, I want to talk about arranged marriage and marriage of convenience. So, a few weeks back on Threads, a few authors, one of them was Shamika Irby, the girlies were talking about the difference between the two and how people confuse them.
Hmm.
And that was interesting to me because they're both one of my favorite tropes, and when done well, they are excellent stories. I eat them right on up. And so I want to know, or rather, I want y'all to explain them and the difference between them, but using Gen Z slang. Okay?
You know, Gen Z.
I don't want to hear. So, for purposes of this episode, I did a whole deep dive on TikTok and I looked up what the kids are saying. And you literally have a Gen Zer, Killa. So I don't even want to hear that you don't know what they say.
Well, that's killer. I got alphas and betas here. I don't know what Gen Z says.
Do you know how much of my life is blocking out what that man says?
Right. Okay. No, y'all be on the clock app. So I know.
We skip
You
right
know.
over that because what are you saying?
Did y'all not read my script? Like, what?
It's right.
No, it was definitely on there, and I definitely plan to do this because I don't know. What's Gen Z skibbity do Riz? Like what's I don't even know what
I don't
that
know what that
means.
means or how to use it properly.
Because you were supposed to do research.
He's not researching. You got the wrong one.
Oh,
Oh, wing it
Jesus.
kind of girl.
I dropped the ball. I really did read the thing. I don't remember that being a part.
Okay,
Okay.
Lee, why don't you give us an example and maybe we can
Okay.
okay.
I can give y'all an example because I literally looked up a definition guide. Okay. So
Well, why
I'll
don't you
start
shoot
with
that
kind
to
of.
us real quick? I could probably read it and come up with something.
Oh, I guess I did set y'all up. My bad. Do
See how she tried to blame us for stuff?
you want me to reintroduce this segment and we can just cut this all out?
We can edit it. Well, this isn't my episode. Whoever's editing it, you make that decision.
All right. So, okay, so I'm going to try to explain arranged marriage like the kids. Okay.
Okay.
It's when two fire people, okay, really don't want nothing to do with each other. But for some reason, maybe for money, power, something, their families force them together. And, one of them is like, okay, Pookie, like, I can see that, Pookie.
It's Pookie Gen
And the other
Z.
one, and the other one is
They're just borrowing stuff from the 90s.
yeah, some of this stuff ain't new, but this is according to what they say.
Okay.
And they're put together, and after a while of hating each other, most times for really good reason, like they get married because one person has the power, one person has the money. Person A decides person B got that riz, and because they got that riz, they start falling in love.
No cap.
Nope. Okay.
And then they hunch it, and when they hunch, it be busting.
Oh my
I mean, you be
God.
busting, but I don't think you use that right.
Whatever. At least I did my homework.
You did, and
I've never heard people talk like this. So
Well,
I know.
y'all explain the other one. I did arranged marriage. Someone do marriage of convenience.
so this is marriage of convenience, right?
Yeah.
So
You gotta talk like Jaden.
Yes.
okay, so bet that'll be the first thing he said. Bet.
That's more
Okay.
natural.
So more than likely, one of these people is mid, right? Don't nobody really want them, right? They're just there. So somebody with mad riz is probably gonna be like, bet, like we can do this. We can come together. I got you. You got me. Nobody else has to know, right? We're gonna be married, and it's going to. Oh my God. I don't even know how to incorporate this. It's so difficult. Can I just tell you what marriage convenience is? This is too difficult. Just tell you what marriage convenience is.
Come on, Kelly, you almost there.
Okay. All right. So usually one or both are Delulu, right? They believe that they don't want to be with the other person, but usually at the end of the day, we know that's cap. So they're gonna get married because maybe I need a place to live. Maybe
That green card.
yeah, I need that green card. I need my inheritance. I'm actually a little sus, and I'm trying to hide that from my people. So we get married just out of convenience, and typically there's a one bed scenario that happens too. Let's just be honest. And yeah, they're gonna riz up on them, and
That's what those 7 a.m. Jaden calls be doing. They be getting your vocabulary up.
I be rolling my eyes. That's the best I can do with describing it. In just
No, that was really good. That was really good.
oh, that was hard.
Only lingo in my house right now is 6,
6, 7. Jeez.
I'm about to put them kids out.
And I keep saying, like, does it mean anything to y'all? And they're like, and they just repeat it. I'm just like,
I've never heard of that. Thank goodness.
be
My
glad
brain.
Ellie's a toddler. Yeah.
Thank God.
'Cause this
She's the
ain't,
last of the alphas.
this is not it.
I didn't even know what generation she was in, so thank you for letting me know.
Yeah, I had this year, well, last year was the first generation of betas.
So is Ruger a beta?
Workers a beta.
You got you a beta baby. Okay. He's a cute one too.
Kelly, and you too can have a beta baby if you would like.
Do not get cussed out on Beyonce's internet today. That is not how you want to end your day today. Hey,
Okay, so English, please. What is arranged marriage versus marriage of convenience, y'all? T, you want to take it away?
So, marriage of convenience is literally marriage may or may not have been on your mind, but there's a good situation. You do usually like this person enough to go into agreement with them. You might be, I've read some where they were friends. I've met some where they were strangers, but they were on like a dating type thing. Um and arranged marriage usually seems very forced, very like my daddy from the time I was born said I was destined to be with this family, and it's usually very little wiggle room to get out of that thing. It's very like
contractual.
contractual, and I don't care how you feel.
What I would like to do today is take some of our favorite, explain what they are, and then play some games with them. So, y'all know how I feel about Demon's Dream, and the 21-hour audiobook just came out, and I am living. I have to take a second to give the flowers to the cast. So amazing. You got Midnight Michaels as Demon. And I never listened to a full book. It's just any of the books I was listening to didn't have him as a narrator. Like I've heard snippets of him on social media, but him as Demon was a perfect matchup. You have Winston James as Smoke, which hearing Smoke in my ears is amazing. You have Jackie F. Lynn, which is my first time hearing her as Diana. And I appreciated that now we know how to say. People are calling her Dana. Diana is Diana. And then we have Wesley Siobhan as Dream. So it's been such an experience. I'm savoring it. That's the beauty of like consuming it in a different way. I don't need to rush through it. I just take my time. But re-listening reminded me that we have both represented in that book. So we have, of course have your arranged marriage, and you have it with Diana and Jordan. You also have, even though it's not a marriage, you have an arranged dating situation between Dream and Demon or Damien. And then, honestly, marriage and convenience, right? Even though we don't see it with the main characters because their family is into like the crime mob, you do see families choosing, right, like a marriage of convenience for other people in that book. So that will be the book that I chose for myself. But Kelly, I know you was feeling Memphis from Alexandria House. And
Yeah.
I knew T, you was feeling Hostile Takeover by Christina C. Jones. And then I felt like a group pick was Our Vicious Oath by Annie Davenport. So,
Bless you.
my question for, I'm gonna go with T, okay? Which arranged marriage storyline out of the books that I just named do you think you could survive emotionally? You could also turn that on her head. Which one wouldn't you be able to survive emotionally?
Mm, Emotionally, I wouldn't be able to survive the situation between Demon and Dream, because that was harsh. That wasn't Dream's debt to pay,
A daughter
and
for a daughter.
Mm.
I, I don't care. That's not my debt to pay. It's
I
a
wouldn't have
grown
been in
man
there.
right here. Send him to Demon. There's nothing I can do about that.
Then tell.
Um, I think the one that I did like the most was probably our vicious oaths, because even though they were against each other, they said, hold on, we got to go get him first. And in the midst of aligning their sights on a common enemy, they got twisted and tangled all up in the game. You know what I'm saying? So I think that one, because you really honestly got to know that person on a deeper level, and then by the time the love connection was here, you were like, all right, man, fine, fine, yeah,
Enemy of my enemy is
is
also
my
my
lover.
love.
Yeah.
It's good.
What say you, Kel?
Um, I think because I'm twisted, I think I can survive all of them. I think I could really be like, with the whole demon's dream thing. I think what made that one worse, it was just the whole blindsiding of it all. Like, quite literally, like you're living your life, and then one day it's like, bloop. At least with our vicious oath, she knew. She knew at some point that was going to be her lot in life.
That's true.
Yeah, hostile takeover. It was out of left field, but it wasn't. It wasn't like she didn't walk into a room with a man covered in blood, right? And being like, "Oh,
Right.
that's I'm taking you with me." So it
Right.
wasn't like it was against her will, but again, it was like, okay, it's not bad. So I guess by process of elimination, Demon's Dream would be the worst. But
I think Hostile Takeover will be pretty bad too,
Choice. Like
because
of
yeah,
all
Nala was having a regular day at work, and then she was what?
got my
I,
matcha. I'm having a good hair day. Bebop
out
to
of
the
all of
office, and
them,
my life was ruined.
out of all of them, I think that would have been the hardest one for me because quite literally you've done everything you're supposed to do. It's like you went to school, you graduated magna cum laude, like your family books are fine, and then all of a sudden there's this man one day that's like, yeah, you have 20 hours to evacuate the premise unless you do what I want you to do. And what is it that I want you to do? Marry me, right? And so we even know we know how it works out for them, but like at least Dream walked into the situation knowing that Dante was ruthless, right? Like maybe she didn't expect what he
Yeah, but
decided.
like, I think the part that kills me the most with that one is like, she was a virgin and she got her virginity taken by somebody who did not care. I mean, and like, not that, I don't know.
After after a while.
Yeah, after a while, but not when it happened.
Well, but that's why I argue that Hostile Takeover wasn't the worst, only because the stakes sucked, right? She was going to lose her family's legacy, but she was not in any danger. It was really it was a business decision of I want to protect what my mother worked for. Where Dream and Demon's Dream, like it was like
He's
this
yours to do with
yeah,
whatever he wants to do
whatever
with
he
you.
wants to do with you. So I feel like yes, it sucked, and her whole like world was put on its ear. But at any point, she really could have been like, "I'm out," and she's just gonna
I'll
lose her
build my
legs.
own grocery store
Yeah,
somewhere else.
I'm gonna just order from Shipped and be done with it. I love Sprouts. I don't know, but I just feel like that's what made Hostile Takeover not as bad for me because she did have a choice. She just didn't like the fact that she was going to lose everything her mother worked so hard for, and I can appreciate that. Um, but I think for me with Memphis, it was too sexy for me to feel sorry for her because he just wanted his boo thing back.
In love with someone and then all of a sudden the carpet is ripped out of from underneath you and for 20 years you don't know why. So I understand Bo's just back and he's just like, yeah, you're mine, but it's like I didn't know for 20 plus years where you went, why you went, and I know it was to protect her, but it's like you broke my heart for 20 plus years. I had to watch you have children,
Listen,
get married.
listen.
Yeah,
I wanted his boo
and
thing
she wasn't
back.
that heartbroken in the end. She was all right.
And even when
Yeah,
they
it
were
was
going to
Dream.
do it, he was having
Miss
to fight against her feelings. It she was more so being stubborn. If she was just willing to say,
She was
I'm right
upset
and
that
I'm
even
wrong,
after all that,
yeah.
she still wanted that man. That
That
was
when
her
she
problem.
heard his voice and when he got up in her mix, that she was
She was
shivering.
still down bad.
So
What what took me out about that book is every time the FMC got a chance to be like, yeah, he's funny looking, he ain't that fine. But you drooling over him, she loved to keep saying, I don't know what it is about Bo. He wasn't the tallest brother. He wasn't the finest brother. Yes, he was. You was drooling over that man.
She's
yes,
trying to talk herself down, and none of it was working.
None of it. None of
but
it.
I
But I'll
also
say
feel
this.
like we can't talk about Memphis and not talk about Lilith, though, right? Because
That was a forced marriage. I like it wasn't even two separate like at least the other one.
at the end of the day, Bo and Memphis was a forced marriage. He was really making it like we
That
had to make
men were
chaos.
forcing their hands.
But I like the way I like the finesse that they did with Lily. When he just showed up and was like, "Is you hungry? Eat. I'm not leaving."
I'm your man. What are you not understanding?
What
I'm
about
never
me?
going
Oh,
away.
he keep the door open. We go together. We ain't got no secrets.
We ain't
And
got no.
she's like, I met
I
you.
got a lot of secrets,
Oh,
but we ain't got no secrets
So
together.
I'll say this: listening to Demon's Dream again, though, I hear what y'all saying, but I don't feel bad because Little Miss Hot in the Pants was like, "We need to start this today. Hurry it up. Get me a teddy. Get me lingerie. We're doing this now."
No, because Dream was trying to have some form of control.
control. And that's why I was like, hers was really the worst. Like she was trying her best to say that, you know what? I'm gonna run some part of this, even though she was running none of it.
You know who had it really the worst, and she's not on this list, but Masaki had it the worst.
T, why you bringing the heavy, bro? You want me to talk Gen Z? You got it. This is skibbity Riz trash. I don't want to talk.
But Saki was the goat, okay?
She was in the worst arranged marriage.
Yeah, I agree. And the worst part is she stayed with that man who was the mountain. She stayed. Like there was it's the worst because there was no happy ever after. And she didn't even have to go back to old boy. She could have just left everybody.
No, I needed her to have Robin, especially since Robin came back for her at one point, and then at the end, Robin was widowed. Baby, he's your happily ever after. Go be happy. And she's like, "That's my man."
What was she gonna do with the boys? Because the one who was a warrior from the womb wasn't going nowhere. He was not leaving his daddy to hang out with his mama.
Well, sometimes I gotta choose me. Y'all be blessed on this mountain. I'm not staying with this man. I know that. Sometimes we gotta pick and choose our battles. Yeah,
That's
Masaki did have it pretty bad. I just think there's a lot of good ones. I mean, y'all know my go-to with Chantel Davis. You know, I love a forced marriage with both. Quit making that thing. But I do like a forced marriage if it's healthy. Like I know there's like a lot of
a forced marriage if it's healthy.
I think a marriage convenience is more healthy. I don't know that an arranged marriage can
healthy.
start out healthy.
When I say healthy with an asterisk, I mean because I am awkward and broken, so I don't know how to court you, so I'm gonna take you. But my intent was never to harm you; it was just to make you mine, and I don't know how to do it another way. The one boy didn't even use words, right? He didn't even talk. How was he gonna woo her? It wasn't gonna happen. What rings did he have? Okay.
As much as I'm
did have rings though, them little suits was really doing it for her.
No, it was.
As much as I give you a hard time, my favorite part of those books is in both books they met them as children and they were like, I loved you since we were kids. And I'm a sucker for friends to romance, even though the girls didn't know they were friends. Well, in the first book, Saint and Saint and Ava became friends for real. The second book, she didn't know they were friends.
Wait, I don't know you. He's like, what do you mean?
And in my twisted mind, I was like, that is so romantic. Like, he just showed up and was like, let's go. And she's like, where we're going? He's like, getting married. Mm-hmm. Like, what are you confused about?
It was when Luciano finally started talking, and his dad was like, "What do you want?" And he said the name of the girl, and he's just like, "Anything but that." Like, it's difficult. There's bad blood with me and her mom. The people think I heard. Like, of all the things you could have
And you
asked
know what
for a
Luciano
Mercedes.
said? I do not care.
I don't care. Make it happen.
Because really, this conversation is just a formality, right? If you thought I was leaving with a changed mind.
Like, Daddy, if anybody knows me, you know me. And if I'm coming to use my words, that means it's really already a done deal.
Because even Matt was like, you haven't spoke like 3 words in 20 years. All of a sudden, you just chatty Cathy. When this girl comes up, and he's like, I like her.
I like that.
And then even like the watching her sleep, which again, I know I'm the problem, right? That's weird.
I like that too.
Yeah, it's weird, but I'm like, oh, he wants to make sure she's safe.
Well, Kelly, I don't know where you got it from, but the rest of us who watch Twilight, it's Twilight's fault. We've been trained and groomed since we were kids to think it's romantic when men watch us sleep. Like, when 200-year-olds watch a 16-year-old sleep, I don't know.
And again, it's just because I know in the back of my mind that it's going to end good. And so I can't buy into the fear early on because I'm just like, I know this is going to end on a high note.
And that was me with Demon's Dream. I know I'm not trying to make light of the situation, but when she seen that man and he was covered in blood and she was talking about she noticed his eyes were green and something in her jumped, I'm like, oh,
yeah. You got to be fine.
Yeah, she liked him because she thought I could just see him and admire him from afar. I don't have to be in his room all day. Even in Menace Caselli, and Stevie is there, been there for a week, smell probably really rank, and been living off turkey sandwiches that Bean's been sneaking her. And when Menace was like, "Oh yeah, that's wifey right there," I was like, he likes her. That's real sweet.
Not anybody, but he chose her.
Her.
And there's like this common theme for the male characters is like they're not wired the same as the average man, and so they do what comes natural to them, which is to take what they. I mean, because at the end of the day, we're not talking about like. I read a lot of kidnapping this past week. It was not romantic. It was very scary. I knew from the moment these girls were, when they said, "Hey, young lady," I knew they was in trouble. When
it's not end well. I don't know what to tell you.
The romances though, where the women kidnap the men. I need to read one, and don't you dare tell me to write one because I will not. I want to read one.
It's just so where she's taken though. I don't know.
You think it won't be the same, but I'm gonna be honest with you. Lately, I've been reading books where the man was the virgin, and it hit like in a way I didn't think it would hit.
So, but well, what I was gonna say though, I think if it was a woman doing the force, I think if it was sapphic, I think I would be into it. I think I'd be into that.
Okay, so I didn't read one where the lady kidnaps the man, but Sherelle Green. She has that Mafia family series. And the guy, they get kidnapped together, but the guy is legit scared of this lady because she goes after the men that traffic women, and she cuts their pieces off and leaves them in their mouth. And that's like her signature. And he is petrified of this lady. But of course they're kidnapped together, so they gotta work together. And then they fall in love. That one was really cute.
Yeah.
I'm like, the more I'm thinking of it, I feel like I have read one. I just can't put my finger on it. And it's driving me nuts. But I feel like I thought Wonder was headed that direction at one point. Because the Queen of Hearts, didn't she have a thing for the Mad Hatter? I thought it was heading there for a little bit because she had him between a rock and a hard place, and you could tell I thought that, and I wasn't mad about it. I'll say that I wasn't mad about it. So maybe I
Wonder was
cheated.
such a good
It,
book.
it was. And Lee still hasn't read that one either.
Working my way through the things that y'all are telling me to read. Okay. Little baby is doing what she can.
Okay, little baby.
I think at the end of the day, marriage of convenience, forced marriage, arranged marriage, one bed, it's gonna do it for me every time. I don't think
Every single time.
there's not a scenario besides withdrawn consent that is going to ruin it for me.
Right.
Well, let's see if that's true. A little would you rather.
Okay.
Okay, we'll start with you, Killa. Would you rather be in a political arranged marriage, like what we see in our Vicious Oath, like in the standard with fantasy novel, or a marriage of convenience in a small town setting?
You threw me off with small town. If it wasn't a small town, I would have took that one, but I'm gonna have to go with political.
Political, and you don't even typically like the political
I
intrigue
don't
of
you threw in small town. I'm not gonna
you
be
don't want to be in a small town where
no,
everybody knows each other's name.
no,
All right.
no. And the reason with
Okay.
political, I feel like I still have some implied power. Just like with our vicious oaths. Even though she wasn't considered the head, she had her own right and her own
She
power.
did.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I can take that.
She
For
had little
squadron,
Malachi trembling in his boots a couple of times.
yeah, her squadron was riding for her. I know they came as her harem to be like, oh, ladies in waiting, but we all knew those girls was ready to ride at dawn for her. So I think I would take political.
Okay. T, would you rather sign an arranged marriage contract with magical consequences or have a marriage of convenience with financial consequences?
Are these bad consequences?
Consequence.
Notice I said consequences.
It's a consequence are negative. They're not rewards. They're not
Nope.
rewards.
They're both bad, and no, you cannot opt out.
Magical consequences.
Yeah, I'm with you because maybe if it's magical, you have magical powers too. So, you
Yeah.
know. All right. I want us to like build almost listen, I've never been a gamer, but I watch like my husband and my brothers like build like players on Madden and 2K and all those things. I want us to imagine that we're building, okay, our own perfect let's say arranged marriage and or we can say marriage of convenience, either one you can build. And I want us to think about the characters we know and I want us to match them together. So on the MMC side you got Bo, you got Demon, you got Malachi, you got Orion, and of course the FMCs you have Memphis, Dream, Kadisha, or I think her name was Nalani in that book.
Hmm.
And then the setting, magical realism, the CIA, a wealthy town, urban setting. Who are you mixing and matching, and what setting do you?
I think I would take hostile takeover setting because I want to be in the city. But he also had properties, right? We can move around. We had options. Um, I want Malachi as a person, but I need him to have like Bo's energy. Like I need him to be a little bit more cocky, right? Like he was arrogant in his own right, but I liked Bo's energy a little bit better. Just like, girl, come on, like this is just what we're doing. Um, I would like Orion's finance. Well, yeah, because he's a billionaire.
He's a billionaire.
Yeah, I'll take his finances. Um, but also I need you to be a killer, like Demon.
I mean, yeah, yeah.
Kelly just kind of did what she wanted. She's supposed to choose one of each, but I do like the
I
world
thought
that
I
Kelly picked.
did. What didn't I do?
You're supposed to pick one man,
One
Oh, I
man,
said
one
one
lady.
man.
one man, one sound. One
No,
man, one woman,
I
one sound.
misunderstood these. I thought you said build a man.
no, she didn't say that.
Oh,
You
well, if I
heard
can
that.
pick one man, then it's gonna be Orion. It's gonna be him.
To go with who?
To go with what woman?
To go with what woman? It would still have to be the same woman he was with. I don't see me changing that. Why would I?
Okay. And their same setting? Okay,
Nice.
I'll go. Okay, let me model this. All right.
Yeah, why would
Um,
I change that?
I'm gonna take Demon for obvious
Because you're
reasons.
building a new story, killer.
I tried to, and y'all didn't like what I built.
That's not a new. Well, actually, okay, whatever. I'm taking Demon. I'm pairing him up with Memphis because Memphis is an assassin, and I want to see him get disrespectful, and I want to see them fight like Mr. and Mrs. Smith. And I want to put them in our vicious oath magical realism. So I want them to have weapons, be strong, have green eyes that dart things like Brandon Massey. I'm putting supernatural stuff in because I feel like it. Because I feel like it, okay?
No rhyme or reason or methodology. We're just gonna throw it in there. We can levitate.
Because it's my prerogative. But no, seriously, I would love to see Demon in all his big brolicky like Our Vicious Oath to me was major because to me it was like a blending of genres. And so once I read that book, I'm like, ooh, it's not far fetched to think of my favorite like urban fiction character and picking him up and putting him in a fantasy world. So I would love to see how Demon and he could bring Smoke over there too. I want to see how they do in the magical world.
And that's crazy because I was thinking I would like Kadisha probably with Orion
Oh.
and just any world that didn't have magic to see how she, because she loved to bring Zaza out and shoot fireballs and stuff.
Hey, when you got a secret weapon, you use it.
That's
You
true. But
use
I just
it.
I just would want to see her more like having to focus on
Rely
her.
on her own. Yeah. Like I'm trying to think obscure so I can do this game. I can't. I can't.
The analytical brain won't let you.
Hold on. So yeah, I can't do it.
Well,
I don't
don't stick
know.
to the list. Go through any arranged marriage. Like just pick somebody
Um.
You could use your beloved Luciano in
if
Saint
you
Ian.
need to. Yeah.
Okay, I can see myself putting Luciano with like a Memphis, just like you said, for the same reason because she's strong, and not to say that which Hall wasn't strong, but she was more of in the victim space
Right.
than so I can see that. Maybe put them in a space of magical realism because I feel like you have to then not rely on what you have because there's so much out of your control. You can't rely on what's black and white. And I think that he very much operated in the black and white
Very true.
because it made sense to him. So imagine being someplace where you're trying to control a person who could shapeshift away from you and potentially choke you out from across the room. Like, how do you control this person?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, and it's going to force him way out of his comfort zone.
That's a good one. And Luciano will be in love.
Absolutely.
He'd love every minute. They could have all the hunching around all the severed heads they wanted to, and they were done. So,
Yeah, because Memphis wouldn't care either.
but she wouldn't at all. Yeah,
So then
maybe.
my last question for you ladies is if you only got to choose one MMC to live the rest of your days out from any of the books that we talked to today, to take part in your own arranged marriage or your own marriage of convenience, who you choose?
Well, Ryan.
All
Yes, sir.
right. All
Say
right.
it on to no further.
Because here's the thing. Again, prefacing this with I know I'm the problem. Part of what clinches it for me for Orion is that when the wedding night came, he was like, do you think it's an effing game? Did you think for 5 minutes
Look what I
that
bought you. A pillow. For the
did you
knees, girl.
think for 5 minutes that when we got here that it wasn't going to be everything I thought it was going to be? And so again, I know some people will be like, "Oh, that's inappropriate," but I'm like, no, he was like, "That's my wife,
That's my wife.
and I'm fin to do marital things with my wife."
I'm gonna do marital things. And I love when you find out that everything that he did, the setting of the marriage, when he took her to the balcony, all of that, he didn't hold back just because it was spur of the
Yeah,
moment like get together. He was like, listen, I'm in this. So the things that I'm finna do with my wife are the things that I would have always done with
Yes.
my wife.
Yep.
I love that about Orion. I
Yeah.
love that he, even though he knew he was kind of forcing her hand to marry him, he still had her well-being at the forefront. Like, I got these properties, but they belong to her. But it gotta be me and her, so her daddy can't, you know what I mean, weasel his way back in there.
I
It
love a
just,
protector.
Yeah.
He was just a protector. Like for you to have the minute you seen that place on the market, like you had vision, you had aim, and you were protecting me even when I didn't know it, even when I hate you. Like I was like, I hate you, Jody. I hate you. Like he was protecting me. Also the way he stood up to her father, he was not playing about this one here. And I
and the way he threw that brother in the daddy face and didn't even really know, he just throwing stuff.
Oh man.
funny
Oh, what I
thing,
was gonna say about Orion, how you like your man to get his hands dirty. Maybe Orion didn't get his hands dirty, but he knew some people who knew some people.
Yes. The Blackwoods or whatever.
The blacks,
The
yeah.
Black. Yeah, which I didn't
I,
even. Because y'all know, y'all gotta know, T's the one with the steel trap mind. When I was reading it, I was like, "Is these the people from the books that we read last year?" And he was like, "The one and only." I was like,
when he was like, we don't question their methods. I was like, oh,
"Yeah." And again, shout out to CCJ. The way she ties her things together, it is always just so
needs to be
beautifully
studied.
done.
Because I also read that book with a book friend, and she was like, "Do any of these other people's?" And I'm like, "Well, Cora is inevitable conclusions,
Mhm.
and the blacks are from Blackwood After Dark." And it's just like you don't realize like CCJ really built her own little world.
Yeah.
And like just people are like, well, she's from here and here, and this is her best friend, and they work together. It's a
She
good
is
time.
like the Marvel of authors. Like the CCJ universe is, you could map the entire thing and then step back and be like, it all makes sense. Like there would never be something just out there alone. You'll be like, no, it ties here. And then it's just one
Yeah.
great, big, beautiful picture. But what I was gonna say about Orion is that what really got it for me, besides the fact that he never broke character, right? He always wanted her to believe that this was not about her and it was just business. But I think even she had that turning point too when it was time to get her wedding dress. And he could have just been like, here are the dresses I want you to have. Try them on, pick one, let's go. But he made sure that her people were there for her because it was still her picking out
It
her
was still
wedding
her.
dress. Because again, I'm not playing about you. We're getting married. You're
Well,
going to
one
look.
thing you want, even if you decide to leave me in 3 to 5 years, business
Yeah.
years, you won't ever get to say, "Well, I hated my wedding day."
Exactly. And you're gonna
I
look back
wish
and
this happened because
fondly
you.
like that day. Yes. So
And
that
I'm
part was
reading
really good.
Shadows. I'm listening to Shadows and Whispers, and it's similar to Hostile Takeover, but her husband, she don't mind marrying him. She's like, whatever. And she's like, I just don't have a dress. And he was like, all right, I'm gonna make some calls. And she gets to the place, and they're like, we have these 6 dresses. And she was like, did he pick these out? And they were like, yes. And she goes, well, which one is his favorite? And they show her. She tries it on. And it's just like,
This is the one. This is the imagine, fast forward to the wedding when she's walking down the aisle wearing the dress that you wanted her to wear. And she chose to wear it.
I also love is a teary-eyed man at the altar.
Yeah.
Cry.
That's sweet. I like
Please.
Mhm. Your eyes
Who?
out. Cry.
Who? Yes.
If you could never read one of these books again, which one would you give up? I know you're not giving up Demon's Dream, Lee.
Hell no.
But if you could never spin the block, on Bo, Demon, Malachi, or Orion, who would you say, hey, it was fun, you did what you were supposed to do, but our time has come to an end?
It's gonna shock you what I'm gonna say.
It better not be hostile takeover.
And
No, I'm gonna say bye to Memphis only because I could never say goodbye to Lilith. Like if I like, even though I really did enjoy Memphis,
For
there's
sure.
something about Ray that does it for me just a smidge more than Bo. So I could let that go, knowing that I still had Ray. Yeah,
see that.
it's that her for a man that come with lunch.
No.
Lunch.
We know.
Comes with lunch and then threatens your life if you don't eat the lunch. Like, I don't know, but it's
And they and for him to come with all her favorites, he had to get there early because you know they sell out quick.
Quick.
So you gotta love a man
Nah,
that
I'm
has
an
vision.
intentional man.
Yeah.
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 He didn't phone it in. He was like, I'm gonna bring her what she wants to eat.
But also, I could see like Lilith in my mind, like a movie. Like it's late, you're just sitting here. For whatever reason, I see Lilith like the Martin apartment. Well, you know how like they're at the window and Brother Man's always climbing the window,
Mhm.
and I see her just sitting at the little bay window looking out, and oh my gosh, you see something you're not supposed to, and you slowly try to close the curtains, and he's like,
Sorry.
I see you, see it.
It's just the way he infiltrated her life. It was so quick and so seamless. And it was kind of like, hey, open the door. Why are you here? Why are you questioning me? Open the door.
Door before I
Please
break
leave.
this.
It's like, I will kick this in.
The best storylines. The best storylines are so simple, and it was like, I won't you, I got to have you, now I'ma feed you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Killa, which one would you never spin the block on?
Much, much, much to my dismay. I could not read Demon's Dream again and be okay. I enjoyed the read, and I'm going to reread it. Like I've already found it on Spotify. It's going to be reread, but I know for a fact, like when I think of Ray, when I think of Bo, when I think of Orion, when I think of Malachi, I still smile. I'm like, yeah, they did it. And also, I was Team Smoke, and it needs to be called Smoke's Deanna, not Demon's Dream. They need to rename it, rebrand it, and I would have been okay. Team Smoke for life. But yeah, I think that will be the one. Again, great story. I loved it. Because that was a book club. Isn't that when I read it? Book club? Yeah. So it was a great one, but I think the other ones just I could see I'm thinking about rereading them as we speak. Like I'm like, I gotta read those stories again. So I think when the last book of Three Kings come out, depending on when that happens, I may do a reread. Prepare for that
I'm
third.
excited for Umber's story.
Yeah. I was like, I do want to see it because read it because I think A House did a good job with the sisters and their storylines and connecting them together and just that bond. And then I'm like, all these ninjas really are crazy. They are all nuts, and I love that. I love it. Give me
for
more.
Cocoa.
Yes, give me more. What about you, T?
So, it's Demon Dream too, but
Leaving the clock
what?
out.
When Jordan kidnapped Diana, that literally broke my heart, and I cannot read that part again. Like,
It was rough.
you know what I'm saying? It's just like that part. I just was like, oh, okay, we've crossed the line.
Yeah.
I get kidnapping her, right? Sure, she was your wife, supposed to be your wife, and this raggedy man and called her down. Sure, I get it. But at the same time, why are you doing that to that lady?
Because it was so unnecessary. Like, I guess we needed that so that, Smoke can go get his vengeance. Like, maybe we needed
sure.
it for that.
But we also needed to meet Smoke's dad,
But
which I love that part. Him coming.
But that was tragic. Like, that would be a scene that if they would put this on screen, I'm going to need y'all to take some creative freedoms and whitewash that for me. Because, yeah, that whole thing with Jordan. And I have another question now that's popped in my head, but before we sign off, but yeah, I had mentally blocked that scene until just now. So you said it.
Yeah, it's so more so than Dreaming Demon. It's that part that I'm just like, I cannot.
That
Because
was a
mind you,
hard.
you played in my face. Let's be let's be crystal
Let's
clear.
be crystal clear.
You played in my face. I was like, cool, do you? And now you're mad because you don't want to share your toys. Like, yeah, you took it too far. Um, Last question that I have. Who is the worst parent? So you have in Demon's Dream, her dad traded his virgin daughter, mind you, the daughter who he
2
raised,
virgin daughters.
yeah, to be pure, traded them off like cattle to be slutted out. How those two things come together, I don't know. Then you have
Nala's
uh
daddy.
who?
Nala.
Nalani's dad.
Yeah, who just was the worst, and because he was mad at his wife, decided to just wreak havoc on his own legacy. Then you have Kadisha's dad, who that arranged marriage and all the things. So who's the worst parent in this scenario?
Oh, you forgetting how bad Bo's mom was.
What did I remind me about Bo's mom?
Do you remember Bo's mom? Bo's mom, because remember Memphis met the brother first, right? And the mom didn't think
Oh,
Memphis was good enough for either brother.
yeah,
And the whole reason why he went and married somebody else was because she blackmailed to kill her or what, or
yeah, yeah,
unalive
yeah,
her
yeah.
rather. We gotta cut that out. To
Yeah.
unalive her. So it was like he had to get to the point where he had to trick his mom to cut. Yeah, they were all a doozy. They was all bad.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I forgot about her pulling those strings and was still trying to do it up the entire time.
But even still, it's easy
So
for me.
Kadisha's daddy, to me, promising this little girl to this old man. I think for me, Kadisha's dad, because her birth like fulfilled a prophecy or was like the beginning of a prophecy. So from the time this girl was born, this man was already 900 years old.
Really, oh, it's the ultimate age gap. It's
You
so
know, I
crazy.
didn't even clock the age gap until we read it together, and that was my second read. And T could not let it go.
Because that's
Marvel and fantasy.
disgusting.
She could not let it go.
That's
You
not
even
how. Wait,
asked
wait.
NE
Interview.
herself.
Is it like do they like are they full grown at 25 and they just keep eight? And she was like, no, it's just nasty. I was like, oh, okay, well, yeah, it was nasty. You
And
got
he
it.
was like, I got questions. I got questions because this is gross.
So me, so that to me, I just yuck,
Yeah.
yuck.
Coupled with the fact that he was known for murdering his wives. So she had a mortality rate of like 0%. And you were like,
When
political.
you say
Yes.
it like that, they're all bad. I think the dad from Demon's Dream will always take the cake for me because, for starters, there would be no story if you made your son be accountable for his own actions. Let's start there. So you allowed your daughter to go in there and fix something that your son did, and then he should have rather be unalived than allow his daughter to do that. So to me, him allowing that to happen in that room, like, sir, how you going home?
And
Like
then he didn't get his real justice.
he that, and then it was like, to me, I think what he did to Diana was even worse than what he did to
Oh,
Dream, because it was like
for sure.
this man hurt me, and you're like, suck it up, Buttercup, and you told him knowing that she just walked out on that man in front of everybody, embarrassed everybody, and you're gonna give him her location? Like, what did you think was gonna happen to her? You know,
Her
like
right into the living room. Hey, baby, come with me real quick. Let's take a ride and talk.
I honestly don't think that he was unalive slow enough for me. Like, I mean,
Absolutely not. Justice
that
was not served.
I'm glad that who took him out, but it
I'm
just
not, because she should have took him out a long time ago.
it Yeah,
When he
it's
came home and said, "Yeah, Dream gonna go hang out with Damien for 30 days." Pop, what you mean?
yeah,
Pop, pop.
it's
What
just
say you,
yeah.
Killer Cows?
He was good.
I mean, now that you have re-traumatized me, it would have been Rashida's dad. Because I again the age gap, I didn't clock it. I read it and kept going. I really did. It wasn't for the fact that T kept bringing it back like it's nasty, but it was the whole. All of my wives are dead. I use them until I'm done. I don't like banish them to a land. I don't give them back. I kill them. So that was going to be it for me until you reminded me about what happened to Diana in Demon's Dream. And yeah, to treat your daughters, to raise them, and it was such a mind fuck to me because you were like, oh, be righteous and virtuous women, protect your your innocence and be this so you can be a valuable woman, and then quite literally trade them for S currency. I mean, like you literally raise them a value and then diminish their value just instantly, and
Instantly.
then you double down and quite literally put it behind the guise of men will be men. Jordan is just being a man, and he was quite literally a sadist, right? And it's like, how do you sleep at night? Like how do you again even that whole first interaction that he comes in covered in blood, like he's washing his hands from cooking dinner, and you're just gonna give one daughter away, and then you give another daughter away, and then you just sit back and smoke cigars.
That one.
Yes.
Yeah, the one covered in blood and guts. Yeah.
You just sit back smoking your cigars, drinking your whiskey, and everything's cool. Like, and you just pop an Ambien and go to bed at night.
And that's the thing is because the one who really is putting you in a predicament is the one you're saving.
Yeah.
Which just goes to show you how much you don't respect women, right? Like it's all for your baby boy to be safe, and that's why one of my favorite scenes in that book is when Diana decides um to do what she wants with her body. Like, you know what? Like I might
Absolutely.
have to marry him. And I mean she was like, I'm not like Dream. I don't have the degree. Like I'm not, I've never had a job. Like if I don't want to be cut off financially, I have to marry him. But I'm taking this one thing into my hands, and I love that scene. I absolutely adore it. And that's why I think um Diana and Smoke will always be my favorite, because I just
Oh,
like the way they,
100%.
I mean, granted, you have things that I didn't notice. Like they have quite a while to age gap themselves. Like I'm not
Oh, for
saying
it ain't
sure.
900 years.
It ain't 900 years. She was not promised to him as an infant child. So,
you know. And I think I should have known that the whole like watching Smoke grieve his wife, I should have known that was going to do it to me, which makes sense why I love Kwasim so much. There's something about like stories where men are recovering from grief and they're being vulnerable. Like I love Malachi, I love Kwasim, I love Smoke. So yeah, I really like
Malachi
that.
Gray Huffington.
Yeah, Malachi Gray Huffington. Uh huh.
I
That's one of
almost
my favorite
want,
books from her.
I almost want Demon's Dream to have a rewrite from Smoke's perspective, like as a special edition, not a full length. And again, I know we do this to authors, but she wrote
It'll
that
probably never happen.
storyline so good that you find yourself like, why is this book not called Smoke? Like, what? Why is this Demon's Dream? Because Smoke and Diana, it was just such a good story. Just, and you all know me, the whole found family, the way his mom took to her and was like, my baby don't, he don't, tiptoe. He's not halfway. If he's saying he's for you, he's for you. You need to quit playing in his face. Like, do as you.
Love Stephanie Salinas. Love her.
Yes, I'm like, Team Smoke, baby. And people who are like, I'm Team Dreaming, I'm like, you didn't read it right. Go read it again, because it's Team Smoke all day, every day. All day.
Well, y'all, that was tea time with
Kelly.
T.
Emily. See you next time.